young. I didn't.
You look great.
Yes, you look terrific.
You can't hear anything.
We can, not, well.
Now you know how I feel.
That's
most of the days. Anyway, we love you. We'll see you out here in a minute.
We'll be there.
Okay. Stick with us. Little Anthony and the Imperials, animal trainer Tom Gunderson, and of course Stefanie Powers, Robert Wagner. We'll be right back.
Stefanie Powers and Robert Wagner.
Yes, we will.
Known and well-loved actors. Their careers have included motion pictures, theater, and television. For 5 years, they starred together in the series Heart to Heart. Please welcome Robert Wagner and Stefanie Powers.
Hello.
Thank you, Madam. I'm kissing you.
I know.
Just to tear it up. You want to turn
Let me do this. So good to see you.
Huh? You know, it's the weirdest thing because we've known each other for years, and the idea that we're sitting here interviewing you is the most bizarre. You don't know what it does to my mind. We've sat many a night and talked over the years, and we have too. Never did I think we'd be sitting here interviewing you. I feel like Walter Cronkite or something. I don't know how to do this. Really.
You don't look like Walter Cronkite, thank God.
But we started, I mean, you were a major star. I'm going to jump to RJ because we met first. He was a major star at the studio, and you actually hired me. I think it was my third picture for a picture called All the Fine Young Cannibals. And I think it was a question of me or Warren Beatty, and I got lucky.
And you were great.
No, but you were the I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, of all the guys in the business, and it's boring for you to hear it because you hear it all the time, he's the you know it. He is the nicest guy in this business and the hardest working actor I've ever met.
Sure.
No doubt about it. Now, no, it's true. You know that. You know it's true. And Stefanie, we've known each other for years and years, and you came in after we did. I didn't want to include you in that early days because we're older men, and you're a younger woman. By the way, Bones, our stage manager here, is just flipped. When he walked in, are you over there, Bones? Yeah. He said, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Tell him. What did you say? And he's just floored over you. He can't. The whole show has been off kilter since you walked in.
Well, I'm touched. I'm deeply touched. And it's a pleasure to be here with both of you because we certainly, all our lives have crossed and back and forth together, haven't they? But it is interesting. We do share something remarkable, that we're both working with men whose wardrobe we discuss constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. That is so true. Always discussing. I'm always looking at his wardrobe.
And they're so well dressed.
I just don't want to. I didn't want to disappoint him.
Yes, I understand.
You understand that.
Is it true that women dress for women, but men dress for men?
But you always look so great.
No, it's not. It's just a question. You know, this is a suit, and I don't know if I feel like Al Pacino in The Godfather. I do. I would like to be Al Pacino in The Godfather, but I feel like it. You know.
Who waits for whom on the set?
I'll give you 3 guesses. No, I never said that, no. No, actually, we always make sure that we come out together.
See, what's nice is that Stefanie does her own makeup and her own hair. So she's there ready to go.
I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, when we're ready to go.
Right, that's amazing.
That's not true, that last part.
Oh, the cheap date.
Yeah.
Before I came on the show today, I was out in the street talking to a couple of people, you know, just wandering around, and someone said to me, who's on the show? And I told them. They said, oh, they've been married for years, haven't they? And I do believe a lot of people think, because of Heart to Heart, you two have been married. And in a strange way, you probably have spent more time together than your spouse is with you. I mean, isn't that true?
Yes.
I have spent more time with Stefanie than I have with my mother. I figured it out, really.
Including the 9 months.
And yeah, including the 9 months. Really, we've been together for so long. We've traveled around the country doing this play that we do, Love Letters, yeah. And we've been, I really did figure it out one time. I figured I've spent more hours with you than I have with my mother.
Now, how do you feel about each other? I mean,
I don't feel ever like my mother.
Well, I'm sure, but I mean, you both have your own lives you go home to. Alana and I are still trying to adjust our relationship, having married and divorced, which you did in your life.
It seems to be going pretty well.
Well, I don't know. We don't know. We come out and look at each other, and some days we have these days where we don't know if we're going to drop a grenade or go for it.
Depends on the day.
But what's it feel like? I mean, to
It feels
work.
good, but ours is very different. We never lived together, so we have a wonderful
But
relationship.
you
a
probably spend
wonderful-
more time in the day. Certainly, Alana and I don't live together anymore. We just work here and then go home. Thank God we have a chance to go home and rest. But how do you feel about it, working with each other? I mean, do you enjoy each other?
Oh, we have
Very
a great
much,
time.
very
moods?
much.
No, she's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
good.
Do you?
No, she doesn't have, she's she's a very professional lady. And she's there, and...
You're the most professional. So the two of you are a match couple here. As far
well,
as
we were
professional.
brought up, at a time when
We were all
that was
brought
it.
up.
When we were all
Explain that.
pros.
Explain, because you two know that better than any. What was the studio ethic like? What was that last of the era like? I know because I came in at the end of it, trained really by you.
Thank you.
But tell us, thank you.
Thank you.
We loved Cary Grant. He was the
And
greatest.
we shared
wasn't
a great friend, Cary Grant.
he? What a great guy.
His picture's in my dressing room, which, by the way, I want to tell you, it's the best dressing room I've ever been in. I love my dressing room.
Here?
I love your backstage.
I love your
the
set.
green room. I love
Can
the
we
set.
move in?
Everything is terrific.
It's
Well,
beautiful.
I didn't know it was up there, but if I'd known that, I would have.
And I'm
put
so
mine in
delighted
it.
to be on your show because, I was in Las Vegas when you were all up there, when you first started putting it together.
And you were doing love letters, weren't you,
Right.
too?
Yeah, we were.
And it's just been so successful for you, and I'm so happy for you, George, and Alana.
Oh,
both.
thank
It's
you
just
so
great.
much. Well, Heart to Heart has been obviously so successful for both of you, and and now you're back doing it again. What do you think is the secret of its success?
What you brought up before was very important. I think it's really been significant in not only our relationship, but the ability, I think, that to carry on long hours and sustain something over a long period of time. Because we all were, we were brought up that way. We were all, as you know, in the studio system, they really groomed you, didn't they? And you really had a sense that you were in it for the long term. I don't think that a lot of young people that are starting have that luxury. I think we did. We could afford to be good and bad, and some of us were bad. I remember my really bad stinker performances. But because we were under contract, we would sail through those. It was a learning process, so we were lucky. And I think that's always served us in our professional life, certainly together, and we seem to be carrying on. We've got more heart-to-hearts that we're doing now. And who would have thought that we would spend this amount of time doing
We
it?
never knew that. We never knew this show was going to have that kind of life. You know how a show will take on a life, but we never thought it would go on this long.
We want to stick with this, but we're going to take a small break. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Wow.
We're back with Stefanie Powers and Robert Wagner, and we want to go right to the clip. I don't want to run out of time here. Now, it's Two Hearts in three-quarter time,
Right.
and it's on Sunday night, I think, the 26th of November,
Right.
and on the Family Channel at 7 p.m. Joan Collins was on yesterday, and she talked about it, so we're going to give you as much plug as we can. We'll just keep on. Will you set it up for us, the clip?
What if I knew what it was? I don't think I know.
It's when we're on the dance floor,
Right.
and we're trying to extract some information from Joan, and I think most of what you're going to see is Stefanie dancing with a young actor called Jeff Cate,
right.
and she's trying to get him to tell us where this particular thing is, this clock. That's what it's all about.
Terrific. Let's take a look.
Oh, Ronnie, you are a wonderful dancer. I imagine Vivian thought so, too.
Shall we change partners?
Love it.
Thank you so much.
That was cute. There's that.
How'd it go?
I think he thinks we have it, and I don't think he can think of anything else.
Look, they're back at the table.
I read something, and I don't know if I got it all right, but I think you said in a quote that originally it had the theory of William Powell, Myrna Loy, and the Bickersons and that thing, but you never saw it that way. You never saw any kind of playing around on each other. You always, the two of you, were centered on each other, and I think that's terrific. And it comes across. People see that in Heart to Heart, I think.
Well, go ahead.
No, no, no.
Please,
No, 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 no,
We do the same thing. We interrupt each other.
no.
Your turn to curtsy, your turn to bow.
No, it's you. Go ahead.
Well, we always planned for it to be a monogamous relationship, and we never wanted to do that sort of kitchen sink drama. And all the time they were trying to split us up. But the best one was when they wanted us to have a baby, because we couldn't leave the dog at home. We left the dog at home. The people would always say, well, why don't you take the dog? So I could imagine her carrying the baby with us. So we went through that. Then they wanted us to have 2 babies, you remember?
Yes,
you were gonna have
so
twins?
we could leave 2 babies at home.
Yeah.
You know, you've been a kind of single parent off and on for years, and you have raised 3 daughters. And I admire the way you've done it. And our son, Ashley, has grown up partly in your family a little bit.
Certainly cruised around my house, leaving tracks everywhere, you know?
Watch out for him.
And it must have been hard to keep them grounded. Excuse that expression,
Yes.
but we used
Thank
it a
you.
lot with Ashley.
Yes. Well, you can imagine kind of what happened to me when I saw Ashley cruising around.
Yeah.
I mean, this is formidable.
There they are. Look at
There
those
they are.
beauties. Look, now there's
triple
Natasha.
threat, I think.
Natasha is on
The right.
The right. There's Courtney
in the middle,
and Katie.
on the left.
There you go.
And Katie and Natasha are here
They just walked
in the
in.
audience.
Yeah. they're
Come
right.
on, girls, say hello. Stand up over there. Ah. Don't they look beautiful?
Terribly unattractive.
Natasha's got new hair. What is this blonde hair, Natasha, you have? We'll get a microphone up here. What's your blonde hair for?
I'm doing a movie, and I play white trash, pregnant.
Well, listen, we'll put you on the Jerry Springer show.
I know. You could put my character on the Jerry Springer show.
Now, Katie and I did something with Robin Leach the other night. Remember that?
We sure did. We danced, didn't we?
We
a little
danced.
bit?
I know, and we pretended like I was the older man. We did pretend. There's a lot of acting involved on your part, I know. Huh? It's great to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Archie, you know what I think? I think it's very difficult.
Right?
I think it's really difficult, at least we've found it, to raise kids in Hollywood, coming from a show business family. I don't know if you found that, but what's the best advice you gave your girls
Or the
as they were
worst.
growing
Or
up?
the worst advice
I
you
don't
give.
know. I think you just have to be so lucky. I mean, I know that you're very much of a hands-on father, and I know that you know, care very much for your son, and you do too, and I know that he loves you, and I think that's about the best you can give them. I mean, you see all of these problems happening everywhere, in every part of the world with young children today. I think it's difficult. I think they have a much tougher time today than we all did when we were kids, I think. And I think you just sort of have to hang on and keep telling them you love them, and you know, and hold them. I think that helps a lot.
You sure have done that. And just to jump quickly to a subject, we don't have a lot of time, but I'd love to talk about. You've shown your love for animals.
Yes, I have the 4-legged children.
Yeah, you do, and we have animals coming out. And did you see some of them back there?
Yes, I
the
did.
chimp?
You have a chimpanzee there, and I
Yes.
think it's really terribly important to remember whenever you see chimpanzees, and certainly when you see some of the greater apes that are on display for our entertainment, that you understand that these animals are terribly endangered in the wild. There are countries in the world that eat them, that kill their mothers and sell them as pets. Unfortunately, Taiwan is one of the greatest culprits they're an entrepot of these immature animals, especially primates, that are sold for people's amusements, and then when they get too big, they throw them away. And some of them cannot be rehabilitated. You can't just let an animal go out into the wild, especially a chimpanzee, because chimpanzees are, as we know, genetically practically us. All of the AIDS research that's being done to help human beings is being done on chimpanzees because they're genetically exactly like us. And you see their behavior, which sometimes tends to be exactly like our behavior as well.
Alana's pointed that out to me several times over the years.
Do you feel it's
When
wrong?
someone calls you, yes, you ape.
Do you feel it's wrong to bring them on, you know, to bring them to this country and use them the way we use them? I mean, like on a show or something?
The chimp that you're going to see has been domestically raised and hand-raised, and is probably a purebred, you know, several generations outside of Central Africa. And they're very well taken care of in captivity in many cases, and the sad, sad truth is that in some cases they're better off not in their country of origin. And we're finding that all over the world now. Unfortunately, the impact of human population is creating an environment which is not sustainable for wild species.
Well, we hope that you'll come back and see our chimp. You know, he's going to come out in a little while, and I hope you like him. You seem to be sitting with him in the green room.
We went.
You had a little. Yeah. Do they make little sounds?
Yeah, they do.
And
yes,
you
One of the big
yes, we
problems,
bonded.
whenever there's an animal
we talk.
on a set or anywhere near, that's when she's not around. That's when she comes.
Well, we thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Really, it's so great of you. We wish you great success with the newest Heart to Heart, which is airing on Sunday, November 26th at 7 p.m. on the Family Channel. Don't go away. We'll be back with the chimp.